YouTube family, welcome to Perfectly Parker. As I said in my last video, for Autism Awareness Month, I want to spotlight a few people that helped me along my way in this autism journey. And so one of the people that I thought of first was Nina.
Hello.
I met Nina through our autism group on Facebook, and we happened to find out that we stay 2 houses from each other. I think it was we met at the Spectrum by coincidence.
Yeah. And then we ended up meeting at the car pickup line.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep.
We sure did. So we were at indoor playground is what it was. And I think I turned to you and I was like, didn't we meet on Facebook?
I was like, oh yeah.
And then we met again at the car pickup line.
Yep.
We found out our children went to the same school. And since then, she has helped me along the way so much. I can't, like, how many times do I call you and say, I need help?
I don't even know. It's all good though. That's what we're here for.
I call her a lot. She's just being nice. I call her a lot. But I'll let you talk about give us a brief description of your autism story, how it relates to you.
Well, I'll tell you guys, I have 3 children, all on the autism spectrum. They are 10, 9, and 6. They'll have their birthdays this year, so they'll be 11, 10, and 7. My older 2 got diagnosed at, let's see, Napoleon was 2 and Neil was 18 months, and they got diagnosed within 2 weeks of each other. So
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So I was like, wow. I knew that they were going to diagnose my older son, but I just thought that my younger son was having issues because I coddled him.
Oh.
So when we did the assessment for Neil first.
Yeah.
And when we did that, I was like, oh my, I'm going to have 2 kids with autism. Oh. Next week, Napoleon got diagnosed, and then somebody suggested I look at the 100 Things to Do in 100 Days.
Oh yeah, the Autism Speaks.
It's too much. It's overwhelming.
It is a lot.
It's too much.
It was a little helpful for me, but I think it scared me.
I was like,
more than it kind of.
I was like, oh no. So we had decided, okay, we just literally moved into a brand new house because my husband was Air Force at the time, so I knew that a lot was gonna just fall on me because he was deployed a lot and gone. Yeah. And my kids are 16 months apart, so it was already rough.
Yeah.
I started doing speech and OT. I didn't initially do ABA because I wasn't comfortable where we were, and I wasn't familiar with the methods and all of that, so I waited a while. Yeah. So we also decided not to have any more children. Well, surprise, 3 months later after the diagnosis, I found out I was pregnant with Ness. And we knew if we had a third that the odds of us having another kid on the spectrum was high. Yeah. That's why we didn't want to have a third, just so we could focus on Neil and Napoleon. Right. Well, God has a sense of humor. Yeah, he does. And by the time I was already honed in on what she was not doing,
to look for.
So I already knew when they told me that she was on the spectrum, I already knew that was going to be the case. Yeah. So it was all good. I already knew what to do, and we were already prepared. Yeah. But the tough thing that we've had is because I had 3, doing all of the therapies and trying to keep up with IEPs and all of that has been tough.
And all different. And I say that all the time. Like, if you know one child with autism, you know one child with autism. Yeah. And so each one of them, I'm sure, needs totally different things. Yeah. Than the next. I know when I became friends with you on Facebook, usually the first thing you do when you become friends with Facebook is you kind of stalk their page. Yeah.
Like,
so I
see if you're crazy.
So I went and stalked your page, and one of the things that I really like that you're very vocal about it, kind of like me. And then I know every year for Autism Awareness Month you do the tidbits.
I do tidbits.
I love the tidbits, and I hope you do it this. I hope, because I want to share it to the page.
I do it, and I do that because it's a lot of people that think that autism looks one way.
I know.
Like, what's that? The Good Doctor.
Yes.
Or Rain Man. People think that every kid with autism is a savant.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
Right.
Or they think they'll use a term that there's low functioning, high functioning, which for people to understand, it's good to say, but a kid that you think is quote unquote low functioning maybe is just as smart as a kid that's high functioning. They just can't communicate.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean it's because somebody posted something on our group and it said that just because they're high function, it doesn't mean that they experience less symptoms. It means we experience less symptoms.
Yes. Because my oldest son has always been gen ed. He was in a pre-K program for special needs kids, but as soon as he went to kindergarten, he's been gen ed. The problem is when you have a child that's high functioning, they'll fly under the radar. Yeah. And you have to remind some of the teachers, like, hey, I know you're not having problems now, but that can build up and you'll have a meltdown. You're like, well, I don't know where that came from.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, because it's been building up.
And it's like, no, you just weren't paying attention to the signs.
Right.
So you have to advocate for your child, sometimes even harder when they are quote unquote high functioning, because people don't pay attention to them as much. My middle son, it's quite obvious that he's autism because he stems a lot of his speech and how he kind of is to himself. So people tend to pay more attention to Neil because he's a little bit more obvious than Natty and Napoleon. But a lot of my fights have been because they're not paying attention to Napoleon. I'm like, hello, we got to get this done. So I've had to advocate sometimes even more for Napoleon than I have for the younger two.
And I remember one of your tidbits, one of the ones that really stuck out to me before we started talking, and you tell me it a lot. It was like, you got to boss up. I never forget that tidbit.
Put your big girl panties on.
I know, you're like, and you do not play, like, you don't sugarcoat it. I know when I call you, I can always expect a genuine answer. You're usually like, no ma'am. This is what you need to do. This is what they need to do. And that's the one thing that I absolutely love, because you don't sugarcoat it for me. You say, no, Shy.
Well, and I've had a lot of parents ask me to help, and if you're not willing to, you know, put your big girl panties or your big daddy panties on and work for your child, no one else is going to advocate for your child like you. So if you don't do things for your child, you know, what good are you? I can't do it for you.
I definitely agree.
I can help you get there, most definitely, but you've got to do it yourself. And if you're just going to sit there and have a pity party in the corner, you're not going to be good for your child. So that's been my...
And you definitely...
That's my downfall, y'all.
You definitely... Because I know sometimes when I'm having a pity party, I'll be like, Nina, and you were like, Shy, I got 3.
You can do it.
You can do this. I've been there, what you're going through. And sometimes I really need that. Like I said on another video, I like that I surround myself with people who check me and call me out on my stuff. And you're one of them, even though you don't know you're doing it, sometimes you're like, girl, I got 3. You got this.
You can do it.
And sometimes I need to hear that. I'm like, I'm getting ready to cry. You like, you can do this.
You can do it. You can do it.
You're like, I've had meltdowns, 3 kids in the store. You can do this. And I do appreciate you telling me that. I really do.
Well, it's not... Sometimes you gotta see where you are. In anything in life, sometimes your situation may be bad, but there's somebody whose situation is worse.
That's right.
And if you can think of it that way, you're like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah,
and
I totally agree.
Kind of like the glass half full.
Right.
Especially being a special needs mom. Yeah. With a husband that was active duty.
Yeah.
It was days.
I can imagine.
Days.
And anything all these therapies by yourself.
Oh yeah. and just stuff would happen. Like at one time we got a mouse in the house, the dog died.
Oh gosh.
Had a gas leak. Anything that could go wrong during deployment did. And I'm having to deal with all of that. There are situations with our kids that are gross that people don't want to deal with. But I'm like, hey, we had a poop incident. And if I wasn't honest with another parent, then they feel like they're isolated. And I got that from, I have 2 mentors that help me that have older children. Yeah. And they were really frank and honest with me. Yeah. And that's why I passed that along, because if I wouldn't have had them, I don't know how I would have made it.
I really do appreciate you passing along
I
pearls of wisdom.
Because sometimes your family won't help you because they don't understand.
Right. That's what I tell people. Sometimes people just don't get it.
Sometimes it's cultural.
Yeah, that's right. That's a big one.
Obviously, we're African American, Hispanic folks.
Yeah.
Different religions have the same issue that we do because it's a cultural thing. Okay, your kid's just being bad.
Right.
And if you don't have your family or your group of people understanding, then you feel isolated. And I always am open to anybody that asks me because you don't want anybody feeling like they're totally alone. Because that's when you get people harming their children or harming themselves.
Exactly. Because it just creeps up on you because you just feel
depressed. You can get depressed.
Yes. I
experienced
that. I'm actually gonna do a video about that. But yeah, it's true. Depression is really real. I totally agree. One thing I want to ask you before we end. So with Autism Awareness Month coming, what is one thing that you think is the big issue in the autism community, and how do you feel people who aren't affected by autism can actually help?
Wow.
Because I go on another rant that I'm not going to give my opinion because I like to get other people's perspective about what they think.
I'd say people's perception of what they think of as bad behavior in a child. Mm-hmm. So you might see a kid having a meltdown. Yeah. Or what people perceive to be a tantrum.
Right.
Or having a difficult time with their child.
Right.
And you see the judgment that people give.
Oh my God, yes.
And it's difficult when people are trying to deal with their situation.
Right.
If people were more open-minded and more educated that, okay, there's some children that have difficulties and issues.
Right.
So don't go judging a parent when you don't know what their situation is.
Exactly. Because I think I heard like a podcast. It was by Dr. Leventhal. He's like one of the really big gurus in autism. And he said it really good. He said people who see meltdowns, it's just the equivalent to if you see a child in the store and if they cut their leg, you won't say, oh, that's a bad mama. Yeah. You're going to say, oh, can I help you? Do you need anything? You're not going to judge the baby. You're not going to judge the mama. You're going to try to help. Yeah. And it's exactly the same thing with children on the spectrum. I mean, they just need help at the time being, you know? And I know beginning out, I've gotten way better, but Parker would have a meltdown in the store and people would stare. And I remember I turned to one person because I'm all at the beginning stage before you really know what's going on. You're frustrated. It doesn't help the situation. And I remember I turned to him because he was staring and basically just giving me the judgmental look. And I was like, if you're going to stare, you can help me with these groceries. Which is not the right way to handle it. I'm not proud of that. But if people just knew that that's just not the, case. Every child who's crying or screaming is not about it's bad parenting. Yeah. I totally agree.
Not just that, some people have to use harnesses on their kids.
Yes.
And especially in the African American community, they're like,
don't put no leash on that baby.
For safety.
That's right.
It's a safety issue, and people need to be more aware. That's why I started doing the tidbits. Yeah. For just that reason. Religious issues. Yeah. So, churches are more open now. Yeah. But people weren't understanding that, okay, I can't take my kid in the sanctuary. Yeah. And understanding.
I feel like
they wouldn't be as judgmental.
Because I was one of those people, I always said, they don't need to put a leash on that child. Until we went to Crayola World one day, and it was so overstimulated, and Parker jet. And she's smaller than us, and my husband's tall, and we're trying to dodge the people, and she was so nervous, she literally went across. And only somebody could have snatched her, but she jetted.
We go places, it's all hands on deck. Yeah. And we got more kids than we got adults.
Yeah. I'm so happy you came to do it. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for asking for me to come. I appreciate it.
I really, really, really do appreciate it. And I thank you all for watching. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and share. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.